Hello and welcome back to another setup video for our Relegation Regen Rebuild series this year on FIFA 18. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to anyone that left a comment or a thumbs up in the last video where I just basically asked for you to submit some teams that you think would be a good team to play with here in Relegation Rebuild this season. So, how are we going to go about picking the final team? Well, this will be a two-part voting series. So in this one, I'm going to give you 4 different league options. Each of those will have 5 teams in them, and there will be a little poll that you can pick up in the eye up the top there. There'll be 4 different leagues, and you can vote in one of each of those categories for the team that you want to see in that particular league. What we will do with that information, I'll give it time to mull over a few 4 or 5 more days, and then I will take the top 2 options from each of the 4 groups, and we will put them in a final vote to pick the team for this series. So, what have I come up with from your votes, and who do you have to vote on? Alright, let's get started. We're going to start first of all in the Spanish La Liga. So there's 5 teams here to choose from. Atletico Madrid had an absolute abundance of thumbs up, so they're definitely here in this vote. So what you'll see on the first, up in the eye there, the first one will be for the La Liga. Which team out of the La Liga do you want to see Relegation Regen Rebuild done with? So we've got Atletico Madrid, we've got Real Madrid, we've got Barcelona, we've got Villarreal, and we have Valencia. Those were the 5 most popular teams that I basically asked you to do one team and everyone do a thumbs up. They were all over the place. Someone put it here, someone put it there. So I've actually gone through, checked 95% of them and added up all those extra thumbs up. It was absolute chaos, but these are the 5 teams that had the most. So they're the 5 teams. I want you to pick one in La Liga. Get voting in that La Liga poll first. Then we'll move on to the next group. The next one will be France. So if we take a look at the French league, Ligue 1. We've got PSG. They were the number 1 from your suggestions, but that doesn't mean that they're going to win this vote. Maybe you haven't taken into consideration some of these other teams. We've got AS Monaco, we've got Saint Etienne, Olympique Marseille, and Olympique Lyon. So there's 5 French teams. If you want to see one of these French teams, if we do end up doing a French Relegation Regen Rebuild, pick which team you would prefer out of those 5. Up in the eye, there is a vote. Make sure you pick one from the French one. Next, we're going to move on to Germany. Now, we have done a Bundesliga Relegation Regen Rebuild before. We did it back on FIFA 16 with Bayern Munich. There was only 2 tiers of the Bundesliga then. Now there is 3. That's not going to say that I'm going to go straight into 3. I've got a few twists and different scenario change-ups that I'm working on depending on which team does get selected. So, don't even consider that kind of shit yet, because I could throw you an absolute curveball. But these are the 5 sides we've got to choose in the German competitions. We've got Bayer Leverkusen, Dortmund, which I think had the most of the German votes, Schalke, Wolfsburg, and Red Bull Leipzig. So get into that Bundesliga poll and vote for one of those 5 teams out of which one you'd prefer. We might not do the Bundesliga. We're not up to that yet, but if we happen to do them, I prefer you to vote for one of these 5 teams. Alright, we only got Juventus from the Italian League, and we did do the Italian League last year. I didn't really see any other Italian. I think there was one for Fiorentina. But other than that, it was pretty dead for the Italian League. So we're not going to bother about putting them into the vote. The final one is England. Now, I've switched things up a little bit here. I did tally up most of the votes. These were spread out everywhere. It was absolutely crazy. There was a lot for Manchester United and a lot for Chelsea. Tottenham had a fair bit of comments and responses, as did Liverpool. And then it sort of filtered down a few for Manchester City, but there's no way I really want to do a Man City series, to be fair. There was a few for Everton, which is interesting, and then, Newcastle, Southampton, and all that kind of stuff. What I've done here is there were quite a few comments that said, can you take Celtic and put them into the English system? Maybe come up with a storyline for that. I've got some ideas of what I want to work with a storyline no matter what club we choose. I just basically need to start breaking it down into what club. So these are the options here. You've got Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham. Or do you want to see me bring Celtic into the English system? Not sure whether it's League 1, 1, League 2, Championship. Could put them straight in the Premier League. I don't know yet. I'm not going to spoil anything just yet. All I really need you to do is consider which team you would want to watch if we went back and did another English series. I know we're just doing the youth edition, but that's fine. I'm happy to stay in the Premier League. You've got all the graphics and all that kind of good stuff going on there. So there's 4 polls there. There's 4 leagues. Vote for your favourite team for each poll, and I will tally that all up in a couple of days' time. We'll come back with another final vote video where we will have 8 teams, and it'll probably be a straw poll. I won't do the eye for this one. I think you can only do 5 teams or 5 selections in those eyes, so we'll have to do a straw poll, which means not as easy. You've actually got to click a link, but hopefully you guys want to be involved. This is really up to you guys. The most votes is going to pick the team here for this one, and we will set about building a story and some stipulations and rules that should make this series very, very interesting this year. So that's all I've got for you today. Make sure you get up there, vote in all 4 of those, and we will be back in the not too distant future with another final vote for Relegation Regen Rebuild. Now, one other thing I want to cover, okay, if you've got this far. We need to think about a manager for our Relegation Regen Rebuild series. So what I want you to do in the comment section down below is, who do you think should be the manager for whichever club gets picked here for Relegation Regen Rebuild? Now, I prefer to use people from our FIFA 17 series, even FIFA 16, if they haven't been used as a manager before. So just give me a whole list of comments if you see someone that you know in there, whether it's Mancini or, you know, we've had heaps of good players. But obviously Mancini was the marquee player from the AC Milan series. But yeah, anyone that you think deserves to be the manager of this club, leave me some comments down below and we'll get some voting happening on that one in the future as well. But yeah, that's all we've got time for. That's all we needed for this one. Get voting for me. I want to make this series absolutely sensational. So I need your help. I need your votes. Share this with everyone that you know that you think will be interested in this, and we will start a red hot new series in the not too distant future. Thanks for your time. I'm Sparring DK. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and you have a good one.